A wealthy man wanted to go hunting in the part of northern Canada where few people had ever hunted. He traveled to the train post and tried to find a guide to take him, but no one would do it. It was too dangerous, he said. Finally, he found an Indian who needed money badly, and he agreed to take him. The Indian's name was Delfago. They made a camp in the snow in a large frozen lake. For 3 days they hunted, but they had nothing to show it for. The third night, a windstorm came up and lay in their tent. Listening to the wind howling in the trees, whimpering back and forth. To see the storm better, the hunter opened the tent and flap, and then he saw what startled him. There was nothing breathing of air stirring in the trees, and it was standing perfectly still. Yet he could hear the wind howling. As there were more he listened, the more it sounds like it was calling Delfago's name. It called Delfago. I must be losing my mind, the hunter thought. But Delfago had gotten out of his sleeping bag and he was huddling in the corner in his tent and head buried in his arms. What's all this about? The hunter asked. It's nothing, Delfago said. But the wind continued to call his name and Delfago became tense and more restless. Delfago, it called. Delfago. Suddenly, he jumped to his feet and began to run out of the tent, but the hunter grabbed his waist and pulled him down and said, You can't leave me out here, the hunter shouted. Then the wind called again. Delfago broke loose and ran out in the darkness. The hunter could hear him screaming as he went again and again. He cried, Oh, my feet, my burned feet of fire. The voice had faded away in the wind and died down. At daybreak, Hunter found Delfago's track in the snow. They went through the woods and towards the lake, then out into the ice, but soon they noticed something strange. The steps of Delfago had gotten larger and larger. They soon long no human but being could have taken them. It was as if something had helped them to hurry it away. The hunter followed the tracks in the middle of the lake, but there was disappeared at first. He thought that Delfago had fallen through the ice, but there wasn't any hole. Then he thought there was something had he pulled him off the ice into the sky, but it made no sense. As he stood wondering what had happened, the wind picked up again. Soon it was howling as it had the night before. Then he heard Delfago's voice. It was now coming from above, and again he heard Delfago screaming, My fiery feet, my burning feet. But there was nothing to see now. The hunter wanted to leave the place as fast as he could. He went back to camp and packed then. He left some food for Delfago as he started out. Weeks later, he achieved the civilization. The following year, he went back to the hunting in that area. Again, he went to the same train post looking for a guide. Then the people could not explain what had happened to Delfago the night, but they had not seen him ever since. Maybe it was the Wendigo, one of them said, and he laughed. It's supposed to be some wind that drags you along at a great speed until your feet burns away more and more, then you carries you into the sky and drops you. Just a crazy story, but then that's what some of the Indian says. A few days later, the hunter at the train post again, an Indian came in and sat by the fire. He had a blanket wrapped around him as he wore his hat so that you couldn't see his face. The hunter thought that there was something familiar about him. He walked over and asked, Are you Delfago? The Indian didn't answer. Do you know anything about him? No answer. He began to wonder if there's something wrong, if the man needed my help, but he couldn't see his face. Are you alright? He asked. No answer. To get a look at him, he lifted the Indian's hat, then screamed. There was nothing under the hat but a pile of ashes.